Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining me. I am Marina Orms of Astrology Heals at astrologyheals.com. And last week, if you missed it, I talked about truth, lies, conspiracy theories, and science. It was really fabulous. So if you missed that one, you'll want to make sure and go back and listen to that. But for today, building off of that, and you can go ahead and watch today's video even if you haven't watched Truth, Lies, Conspiracy Theories, and Science yet, but make sure you go back and watch that one. But for today, what I'm going to be talking about is why I don't believe in astrology. So this is a fun topic. And I love this because it throws people for a loop. One of the most common bits of resistance that I get when I tell people I'm an astrologer or let them know what I do, they say, well, I don't believe in astrology. And it's funny because I say, I don't believe in it either. And that's not what they're expecting me to say. So here's the thing. Astrology is not a belief system. And this is a huge myth that we have in our mainstream culture. Astrology is not something to believe in. It's not that what would you be believing? Would you be believing that the stars influence your life? That Jupiter has a particular market on the truth or your life or what's possible for your life that is outside of your power? No, it does not work that way. And this is one of the biggest uphill battles that astrologers have in terms of explaining what astrology is and how it works. So think of astrology as less of something you would believe in and more of like a language. So like French, if you're learning French, it's a different way of thinking. It's a different vocabulary. It's a different structure. It's a different system than the language if you weren't born a French speaker. So I don't believe in French. I just can't have the ability to learn what French is and how it works. And so when I learn this other tool or this other language, it gives me new possibilities for how I think about the world. And it doesn't decide how I think about the world. I am still me. I still have my own thoughts and my own choices. But it gives me a framework. It gives me terminology. It gives me vocabulary and tools and ways of thinking that help me make sense of some of the things that happen in my life that don't have words. So an example would be, you're going through a stressful time in your life, and you might feel a little depressed or overwhelmed or confused. And people around you want to say, well, is it because of this, or is it because of that, or have you tried this solution, or this therapy? And they want to like simplify it and say, here's a problem and here's a solution, and this is what you need to try, and this is going to fix your problems. But really my experience, my internal experience of being me and going through this difficult time might be much more complex than what could be easily explained and understood and made into a rational thing by other people. So my experience might be that there's something coming up for me that's getting triggered from my past, that is being triggered by the particular events and situations of what's happening around me, but really is not rational and really goes much deeper. It might be that what I'm experiencing is bringing up something that isn't obviously connected to the thing that's causing the problem. So maybe I have money stress, but maybe what is really going on for me is something else. Is that maybe I'm afraid to talk to somebody, or maybe I'm afraid of being successful, or who knows what, right? It could be a whole range of things. And that's what astrology helps us with. It helps us to give a bigger picture of context and meaning to what is happening. So when we look at an astrology chart, astrologers, of course, can read the symbols in the chart. And what we're reading is not a linear, logical sentence structure like we have in our normal English language or whatever language you speak. We have, so in a linear logical way of thinking, you might say, well, if you're experiencing something uncomfortable or painful, find out the cause, solve the problem that's causing it, and the problem goes away and you're done. That's linear thinking. It's like from A to B to C. But what astrology does is it gives us a way of thinking in a circular way. So an astrology chart, you might have seen one, looks more like a circle. It's like a pie with 12 slices, 12, each sign of the zodiac is one slice of the pie. And so we have a circle now to think in terms of, and how the different parts of a chart interrelate. And they can tell us everything from what are the kinds of issues and themes that might be coming up in your life right now, to where those come from, to what you might have experienced in past lives, to what kinds of issues and themes you might be dealing with throughout your life, to the best ways to address those issues and themes at a deeper level, at a more complex level, at a level that's much more circular and cyclical, and explains how things go away and come back and change over time, and how we have this approach to our own selves and our own truth and our own complexity that is going towards a purpose. We're moving in a linear direction through time from birth to death, but we also have these cycles that repeat throughout our lives. And astrology gives us a language and a tool for describing and understanding those cycles. So there's a beginning understanding for you about why astrology is not something to believe in, but it's a system, it's a language, it's a tool, and it's a tool that can take us beyond. So linear thinking is really a one-dimensional thinking, right? From A to B to C. It's because a point is no dimensions, a line is one dimension, a square would be 2 dimensions, and a cube would be 3 dimensions. So linear thinking is one-dimensional thinking. But as soon as you have a circular thinking, you're expanding into 2 dimensions. So you're already beyond the limitations of the dimensions that you had before in the ways that you were thinking about things and the words that you had to describe them. So astrology gives you more words, it gives you more interrelated thoughts, more complexity, more ability to expand into your potential, because it can hold this bigger picture and this bigger knowledge and awareness of who you are. It can hold an expansion of consciousness. And not only is it 2 dimensions like a circle, but then it changes over time, making it more like a spiral. Think about the spiral on a spiral notebook. It's not 2 dimensions, it's 3 dimensions, right? Because it goes around and around and around, but it also moves on in space. So that's how astrology helps us to give a context and a language for our lives. And that's just a little tidbit for you. Of course, there's so much more to learn, but I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope that you understand now why I say I don't believe in astrology. So check me out, astrologyheals.com. Learn more about me and what I'm doing, and I'd love to answer any questions you have. Just reach out to us at info@astrologyheals.com. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you just might like my book, Cycles of Healing: Personal Transformation in Relationship to a Living Cosmos. It's all about the cycles that I talked about today, and how astrology gives us a language for understanding our ongoing transformation and healing process at a very personal and soul level. It's easy to read, easy to approach, deep thoughts. So I think you'll love it. It's available. You can read about it at astrologyheals.com. Go to the products tab, Cycles of Healing. You can also find it on Amazon.com under Cycles of Healing by me, Marina Orms. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.